Good day. I would like to share a dream I had on October the 3rd, 2015. And in this dream, it started off with me and my mom and sister going somewhere in my mom's Jeep. And we saw like a bunch of men in a yard dancing and laughing. And one was even naked. So my mom told me not to get involved with them because they were involved with witchcraft. So the man that was naked came over to our Jeep and started asking my mom if he can ride with us, you know. But my mom just ignored him. And as she was packing up the Jeep, he came to my sister, my younger sister, and asked her. And my sister said yes. So I immediately said no and pushed him out of the car because he was beginning to step in the Jeep. So I pushed him out. I was like, no, you cannot ride with us, right? And I pushed him. And he tried one more time asking my mom. But it was no prevail, you know. And so he finally was walking off with a broom in his hands, and while we was driving off. But for some reason I had this feeling that he was up to something. So as he was making a turn in the Jeep on the road, he was making a turn in a corner, he started running after the Jeep trying to catch us up. And he would use his broomstick to break the back window, the windshield, and try to pull me out of the Jeep. But I managed to fight him off. And we tried to lose him, but to no avail. Every time he went somewhere, go someplace to hide, he would find us, eventually. Finally, I was out of the Jeep running from the man, and I found myself at my husband's cousin's place, asking them to help me. That the deranged man was following me there, so I hid behind them. They had took something out of my hand and passed it to the man. And all of a sudden, he stopped chasing me. And this is the next scene. In the next scene, the man who was chasing me, he was now in the front room with other people. He was in the front room with other people and me, having a discussion. Let's put it that way. And in this living room, he started to talk. He said, you know, he started to talk about how people are not even helping out the Puerto Ricans after the storm. And he also mentioned the church, that they weren't even helping out the Puerto Ricans after the storm, you know, and how they make such a fuss about money. So I try to get in and I try to say, you know, maybe people make a fuss about money. Like if you work 8 to 5 and your boss won't pay you, it's kind of normal to make a fuss about it. But he would not even consider what I'm saying. He just kept the fact that Puerto Rico was in help. Puerto Rico was in need of help, and that we make such a fuss about money, and we weren't helping them. And I said something else, and a lady brought up a point, but I can't remember what it was. And so it was the next scene. I was hanging out with my sisters and other family, enjoying myself, and my sister said she got a phone call saying my mom died. So everything seemed to like stop for me, and I couldn't believe it. So I grabbed the phone and asked the person who was on this phone. He said, yeah, his name was Clinton, and he had found my mom's lifeless body. So my sister said my sister's sister and her friend was leaving to go to the house to get my mom's body. And I remember thinking in this dream, I need to come too. Take me with you, because I don't believe this. My mom's young. I know she's a praying woman. I know God is on her side. I started thinking thoughts like, did witchcraft take her out? Did she give up? Did God just decide to take her out early? Like, I couldn't believe this, so I said, you know what, bring me with you, because I'm going to pray up that body. My mom's not going to die. So I was running around looking for my husband, and I could not find him. I ended up going into different rooms, looking in different rooms to find him. I ended up going into one room, and I saw my cousin with a baby in the bed with him. And at first he looked like my husband, but as I looked closer, he looked like my cousin. So I left the room, and I went outside to look for my sister, because I told him to wait for me. Do not leave me, I'm coming. When I went outside, the car was gone. There was nowhere to be found. And it looked like a car was driving off, so I thought it was them. So I thought they left me, and I started crying because I didn't know where the house was. when my mom's body was in the dream. I started crying. And it was raining that night, and I cried and I cried and I cried. I was so sad. And I looked off to my right, and I saw my sister running into the house yard. So I went up to the house yard that she was running to, and then she went to this guy who I know that's a pastor. She went to her car. She said, you know, everything's okay. You know, she got the door open and so forth. I guess she was talking about some issues she was having about her car. And the guy probably was helping her. And then I followed her into the house. And as I was following into the house, I understood that this was the house that was my mom's body. So I went into the house expecting to see my mom's body. But when I went inside, I saw my mom alive and healthy. And I was like, I was so shocked that my mom was like, my mom started saying, why did you lie to her? Why did you try to prank her like that? And I just stood and looked at my mom. I started crying because I expected to see her body. But the fact that she was so alive, I was so happy and relieved. And she said something strange I didn't understand. I still don't understand. She said, oh, this is a sign from God that, you know, I must give the money to you. You know, because how I was crying and how I was so passionate about the fact that I thought that she was dead. And she handed me $50. And she was showing me things like jewelry to buy with the $50. But I was about to tell her, like, Mom, I shouldn't be buying jewelry because jewelry has something to do with Jezebel. And I woke up and I was so distraught from this dream. I did not like this dream one bit. And the first two parts of the dream I really don't understand. I'm not gonna pretend like I do. I don't understand it. Maybe, you know, the first part about the ranged man involved in witchcraft after us has a lot to do with these things are happening in real life. You have witches, warlocks. They're trying to stop God's people from doing God's work, and they're after us. They're after our life. They're after our works. That's the most I get from it. But other than that, I have no complete understanding what God was truly saying. So until then, I have to wait on Him. And so the middle part, I did get an understanding of what God was trying to say, because a couple days later I saw an article. You know about the Las Vegas shooting. I saw an article saying that the donations to Puerto Rico was lagging behind, and that there are people who are still hungry. They still need water. They still don't have homes, because we know that what is the storm? Maria and Irma both hit that country, so it's almost completely flattened. They said like 95% of the country was completely devastated. So there are people without homes, and they need a lot of help. And I had gotten my mind off it and forgotten about the whole storm incident until God brought it back to my attention on October 3rd. And I didn't understand that part of the dream. Why was this man saying that we make such a fuss about money, but Puerto Rico is still in need of help? And I realized that after I found that article, I realized that God was trying to say, you know, we need to still put in consideration that Puerto Rico needs help and give what we can. And it was funny that he said that we make such a fuss about money. Some people might say, I don't have the money to give. Well, it's okay if you don't have the money. But some people might say, well, I got things to buy and things to do, and have no compassion on the fact that these people still need food. They still need water. It's a country that's still in need of help. Even up to this day, they're still in need of help. And so I think that God just wants us to be aware of the fact that even the churches, we are supposed to be our brother's keeper. We're supposed to help. Whatever you can give, because they need it. They really do need it. So whatever you can give to them, give to them. Whatever you can do to help them, do it. And here it is. For those, you know, just remember, those who give to the poor, they lend to the Lord. And I just want to share Luke 6:38. It says, give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall be given unto your bosom. For with the same measure that he met withal, it shall be measured to you again. So don't feel like, if you give and you give to help out, don't feel like, you know, this is not gonna I'm getting no benefit, even though you shouldn't do stuff to get in return. But just know that God sees. These are people who are in need. They aren't trying to be, malicious and try to take your money in vain. They actually are in need, right? So ask God to lead you in where to give the money, so that it would help them out. And I even prayed, ask God to help me the right person, because some people might try to use this as an excuse to scam others, to get money. But ask God to lead you to the right place, to give to the right person that would actually truly help and make use of your money. Give what you can. If you need to give $5, give $5. If you could talk to your pastor and ask your pastor to, say raise funds to send to Puerto Rico, if you can do that. Right now, I'm not going to a church, but if you have a church and you can do it, do it. And other than that, just keep Puerto Rico in mind. Whatever you can do, whatever you can send. If you can't afford to send money, if you can afford to send food, clothing, whatever it is, do it. They need it, And I just want to share a quick story that happened to me a couple of days, because even if let's say you don't have, you might say, well, I only got enough to buy groceries. Take $20 out. Maybe try taking $20 out of your grocery money and sending it, right? People you might think like, whoa, that's my grocery money, how I'm gonna eat. But remember, Jesus said, do not worry for tomorrow worry for itself. If God can take care of the lilies of the field and the birds of the air, he said, why are you worrying for food? Why are you worrying for clothes? Will I not provide it? Right? If God is saying if you give, it should be given back unto you. Give and it will be rewarded back unto you. And I can share a story with you. This happened a couple of days ago. And God's been telling me, God's been trying to lead me and telling me also, not just through him showing me, but also through others also being confirmation that I had this feeling inside of me that God wanted me to give him sugar. I have a sweet tooth. I love sugar. And he was telling me, put away the sugar, put away the sugar, put away the sugar. And at first I wasn't listening, until finally he made it clear. And this is one lady, Jesus Bride, on YouTube. She came and she had a dream too about sodas and sugar, that how it's bad for us, and he don't want us to be eating all kind of sweets, eating all kind of junk food, put these things away. So I finally asked God, help me. I finally started to put sugar away. It was hard. I still try to eat biscuits. I still do eat biscuits here and there, but it's better. I stopped drinking soda. And I would try to drink more water. If I don't want to drink water, I would drink coconut water, because I like that, or some juice. But even some juice is full of sugar, so I gotta be careful what type of juice I drink. But other than that, I've asked God. I said, God, please help me, because of Hurricane Irma, things have been going a lot slow at work, at my husband's work, so we can't afford a lot of things that we used to afford. And I was asking God, like, we were only able to afford few items of groceries. And so I asked God to help me to get fruits together, because I know I need to eat some fruits, but I didn't have the money for it. The next day, my husband went to the store, right, to get something for me. And the owner of the store was stacking up stuff on the shelf, right? And my husband just asked him if he needed help. So my husband helped them out, and the owner gave them a free watermelon and mango and paid him. So my husband was able to bring mango, watermelon, bananas, and grapes. More than I just expected. I was just asking God, just send me just a watermelon. I will be happy with watermelon. But God provided much more. God provided much more. And so you have to understand, what you ask, he'll give. Especially when you give. Give and you receive. And so I also want to share this too. As I was getting the fruits, I was afraid that, hey, I would not be able to get fruits again. So I tried to freeze some of the fruits so it would last longer. But I immediately said to myself, why would I do that if I can trust God to provide more? And it reminded me of in Exodus 16 and 18, when God was providing manna for the children of Israel. He provided manna for them, right? And he told them to take enough for themselves, and he also told them not to store any extras. And those who did store extras, it went bad the next day. By the next day. So what pointed out to me was the fact that those who, in Exodus 16 and 18, those who gathered much had nothing left over, right? But those who gathered a little had no lack, right? So that kind of, reached to me. The fact that those who gathered much had nothing left over. Those who became greedy, tried to save for tomorrow, did not trust God, they had nothing left over anyway. But those who took a little, leaving their trust in God that God would provide again, they said they had no lack. So there are times where I can understand what the guy was saying. Why are you making so much fuss about money? Why are we making so much fuss about money when God can provide for us? So keep Puerto Rico in mind, and God bless you.